You in need of a companion, friend? Well, then you're in luck. I reckon I've killed more men than there are minutes in a day. When do you find time to eat? Can't kill bandits on an empty stomach. Well, you could, but I wouldn't recommend it. I got my start as a pit dog in the Imperial City Arena. Worked my way up to Gladiator before I got bored and quit. They say the best techniques are left by the survivors. With me gone, I guess everyone will have something to offer. I know, and I would have been Grand Champion too, if not for the burden. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Fair maidens in my bed and good stew in my belly. Some burden. Well, that ain't what I'm talking about. Well, friend, it all comes down to who your opponent is. I'm square with killing men, but with a Grand Champion, ain't no more men to fight. So, they bring in beasts, minotaurs and things. I don't like it one bit. If a man chooses to enter the arena, it's what you call his prerogative. A beast ain't got no say in the matter. I kill horkers for food and bears for hides. I don't kill no animal for sport. Why not? You need to get up more, friend. The arena is the most celebrated spectacle in all of Tamriel. To fight and die in the arena is a great honor. To fight and live, well, do that and you carve your name amongst the gods. 'Cause it's fair. It's about the only place you can truly measure a man's worth. If I ask the folks here who has the best mead in Skyrim, one person might say Blackbriar mead, another might vouch for Honning Brew. If I asked for the best alchemist, bard or scribe, or which inn was warmest, and which wench the sweetest, there'd be many replies, but no answer. But if I asked you who was the strongest, who could best any man in the pit, there'd be no debate. You'd know by who was left standing. Only in the arena can a man be judged by his own merits. You're mistaken. It couldn't have been higher. The people were hungry, not for blood, but for entertainment. The arena, friend, was a welcome diversion from the throes of war, because there's no death in the arena. Not to them. If you're a spectator, ain't nothing that happens in that pit real. It's all a game. The words won't do it justice. Not mine, anyway. But you can imagine, can't you? That moment when you stand behind the gate in a cold sweat. The air's so thick you can taste the blood. The crowd is buzzing. The flies are buzzing. Then they wheel up the iron. You hear this roar, so loud it rumbles in your chest. You don't know who they cheer for, or what they cheer for. Victory, glory, or death. But that's the beauty of the arena, ain't it? Nothing's ever written, nothing's ever known. The Grand Champion can win 100 matches and name a skeever as his next opponent, and the audience will still hold their breath. Unlike the stories, it's always a surprise when the hero wins, 'cause in the arena, the hero's allowed to fail. Can't tell you much about that. I mean, I heard the whispers. Sometimes you see good fighters lose to pit dogs. Next day, they show up with swords so enchanted they crapped mages when you swung them. There was one Khajiit fighter, the others called Jingle. Said every night he went home, win or lose, his pockets jingled with gold. But ain't no one ever approached me. They knew where I stood. I grew up watching the fights. I learned enough then to know glory was the best coin. You ought to travel to Cyrodiil sometime, friend, and test your valor.
Well, that's a problem, friend, seeing as I'm following you for a reason. Rather not have to think about where I'm going, if that's okay with you. But, if you want my advice, I'm a this way or that way guy. I just flip a coin, or a bandit, and let it make heads or tails of the situation. Oh, I'm sure there's one close enough. Just jingle your coin purse and they'll come like a bear to honey.
It's all in the hips, friend. Killing a bandit is like making love to a maiden. It only takes a second, and there's no shortage of blood. And their pain is our pleasure. The Horkers, my friend. The Horkers. I can't get enough of a good bowl of Horker stew. Fresh garlic, tomatoes, a sprinkle of lavender. You keep talking like that, and we'll need to get you an apron, and a chef hat. Also Horkers. That isn't it. You see, I've tried stews of all different flavors from all over Tamriel. I've tried your venizons and your steaks. I've tried your bug meat, your horror pies, and Taurus nuggets. Some wood elf charlatan even tried to sell me what he called a wyvern steak, but it tasted like mountain goat. I've tried every meat from the Somerset Isles to the shores of Solstein, and ain't nothing compared to a fresh pot of Horker stew.
But you know what I haven't tried? I haven't tried a dragon. And call me crazy, but I think I saw one fly this way not long ago. You don't say. Sounds like Embry owes me a drink. Said I was more likely to see a Horker with wings. I reckon that would be too good to be true.
A high elf whose toe I stepped on once told me, "Watch where you stab, Horker Brath." It was the highest compliment he could have paid me.
Friend, I didn't expect to see you here. I was ready to go that way, too, on account of this bandit I flipped landing tail side up. You've got a good eye. Truth is, he was like this when I got here, but I figured it was a sign all the same. Well, it ain't Horkers if that's what you're thinking. It's true what they say. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, me and Horker Stew are taking a break. No, I'm here because some pie-eating gargoyle's spreading rumors about me that I ain't a real champion. This sod's telling everyone and anyone that all the real fighters died in the Great War. Seems to me that don't make a skeever's lick of sense. If the best techniques are the ones that survive, the same goes for the fighters. And maybe some of them got old, but the ones that stuck around, I killed. You must be crazy if you think a few words are going to make this Durzog play nice, friend. No. The only way to stop this hound is to make him play dead. I tried. Damn innkeepers only keep their ears open for bounty work. And if he was in Riften, there would have been no escaping me. Seeing as Tamriel's a pretty big place, he could be anywhere. I suppose I'd have just as much luck finding him if I tagged along with you.
Dragons. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on how they should be prepared. Seems to me there's a lot more than just dragon steak. Now, I ain't no chef, but I was thinking maybe it'd be best smoked into some sort of jerky.
Well, if it isn't my old companion. How many people have you killed since we last met? Hundreds? Thousands? Keep at it, friend, and someday you might even reach my count, if I start to get lazy. Likewise, friend. Likewise. Small world running into you like this. Although, this city's so big, it might just take up half of it. These dwarves do have a knack for making awe-inspiring structures. Reminds me of the arena. Reminds me of home. Then later, I remembered there was an entire city made out of dwarven ruins. Seemed like just the place for a guy like me to be. But, I think I'm ready to start adventuring again, if you're game.